pilots, welcome back to Motion RC Live. It is episode 26, half of the year, 26 weeks already. We've been doing this Friday live show, and thank you again so much for joining us. We're not live, but I'll be back in the studio as soon as this segment is up. But we're back again with Patrick Croasdale, Major Patrick Croasdale of the United States Air Force Reserves, and we are here for another Learn to Land Part 4. So we've done the jets. We've done the tail draggers, we've done a PowerPoint presentation, the first one, and now we're using trike gear, and we both have the OV-10 from FlightLine, which is perfect, I think, for this trainer type aircraft. So this is probably gonna be the easiest way to go, but there's always something to learn from anything, and just listening to him speak about the flight and such. And the difference today will be we're gonna do monkey see, monkey do. So Patrick will go up, actually, because today we put him on two 5,000s. I haven't tried that yet, rather than the standard 4,000 packs that you've seen every video. We're flying on the recommended packs, but we believe she can more than carry the weight, get the flight time. But so he's gonna take it up, do a little, see how your elevator reacts to the flaps and such, land, and then when he takes off again, I'll follow him up, and we'll try to, as he does something, I'm gonna try to repeat what Patrick does. So, you know, I'm gonna follow his lead on this. So Patrick, what are you gonna do at the start here?
So I'm just gonna taxi out. I'll take off in my half flap or takeoff flap setting, however you wanna call it. And we'll do one lap around, and as I do the approach in, I'm just going to see how the airplane feels with the new batteries, and maybe have to play with an elevator trim setting. We'll see. And if I like it, we'll stick with it. We'll say you to jump on in, and we'll just start doing, like you said, monkey
there
see,
we go,
do.
monkey see, monkey do, because it's always fun. And we just filmed before this, if it's not out already, which it wouldn't be. But next week we did film a nice just tandem flight with both OV-10s, because they look great when you have two of the same plane and you can tandem with a friend. We're always going to show that kind of content because it's awesome. So I say, are we ready to go? Alex, you put that one on the tripod. As we said, we sync up both cameras, so you know everything you're seeing is as it should be on what is a gorgeous day. It's hot.
This is amazing.
But it is an absolutely gorgeous day today, and we had a beautiful day yesterday as well for some other flying. They cut the grass. I mean, everything at the field just looks perfect.
Good.
And I'm going to be... I'll just keep making sure my transmitter doesn't turn off. And yeah, might as well start taxiing out now.
So I've got no gyro on the airplane today.
Alex to get out there.
And I always do my my powered up spin. So I've got my throttle cut here. When I go off, the throttle stops turning, the prop stops turning. And when I go throttle cut on, it's like a key switch. They're on, props are turning.
Here, taxi out and then show that, because now Alex is way down there.
Okay.
And nobody saw that.
Well, let's try it again here.
They're just looking it up. So here we go.
All right.
Let's step a little closer for me.
Can you see?
Yeah.
All right. So right here, I've got my throttle cut is up, and the props are turning. When I go to throttle cut off, props stop turning.
So so again, even if you didn't set up a throttle cut, basically all he did is up trim the motor to the point where they spin freely. And that helps you on landing.
I just like having a little bit of that less drag, so the airplane has a nice flow over the control surfaces and just keeps it going. It's honestly, it's like flying a gas airplane or full scale airplane. You don't. When you go to idle, they don't stop turning, they spin. So that's what I like having on my electrics.
One thing I would say though, for a beginner, I wouldn't worry about that right away, because beginners are still learning switches. You're still thinking about what switch you're hitting. You know, that was one of the things learning, like, oh my god, if I have flaps, if I have rates, if I have this, like, you're thinking, it's like playing a guitar. If anybody learned how to play an instrument, like, eventually you get to the point where the chords just come naturally. But, you know, I don't even play the guitar, but I know from trying to play that I was always thinking about it, and my songs always... So, so that's what I would say to that. You know, just fly it as normal first. But that is a great advanced, you know, a nice step up. Not too advanced, but a nice step up to start. So, Patrick, are you ready? Alex, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, throttle code's coming up. Props are turning. She's on. I've got half flap. Power's coming in.
And I'll just taxi out my aircraft to the edge there.
Power's full. Nice rotate. Look at that, nice and subtle.
Beautiful. You had a half flap 50?
That was a half flap.
Yeah.
I did have a new elevator mix setting in. Let's see if I like it.
Does the plane feel any heavier?
It feels a little different with the 5,000s in it, but I mean, it's still, I can manage that, no problem.
Nice.
I might think the mix might be a little much, but let's see here. Let's go to full flap and see how she feels. I'm gonna go to idle power and let the airplane settle. Oh yeah, that's coming down nice actually with that nose. Yeah, I think I like it actually. Off we go.
Definitely carried a little more speed maybe, or that was just you?
That was just me carrying a little more speed. I knew it was going to do touch and go.
Yeah.
Actually, if you want to join me, I think we can start talking about what our first focus should be on.
All right.
And I think what we might do today is try to break down each step and try to fly each one of those steps one by one.
All right, I'm at 50 flat.
Okay.
Taking off right to left. Boom. I can't speak enough how much I love this aircraft. Just the way it takes off, the profile of it. I'm so happy with it. And again, I don't have a gyro in mind at all today.
Yep, no gyros.
So if it's a little crossy up there, then that's the aircraft and probably my thumbs.
So let's focus the first thing on being just keeping the nose down pitch attitude, right? Letting the nose settle. So right there you can see my nose is pointed a little bit towards the ground, and I'm going to go around. We're not even going to touch the ground. So just keep your nose pointed down towards the ground.
There it is, nose pointed
Subtle.
down towards the ground.
Managing speed, and then go around.
And then I'm going around. All right.
So the next thing we're going to do is nose toward the ground, and then we're going to look for our transition. Now remember, transition, we can start, my thought is about the wingspan of the airplane.
Yep.
And what you're trying to do is get the airplane to slow its momentum in the descent and get into that ground effect.
And you're powering off, right?
I'm going to go power about 20% and then power off here, transition right there, go around. Okay. So that's about the wingspan of the model, transition to level flight, and then go around. Fantastic.
Nice.
So this next one is going to be that transition to the flare.
Okay.
And we are going to touch the airplane down, and then we're
Okay.
going to keep flying the model and then take back off. So again, nose down, transition, flare.
Nose down, transition, flare.
So I've got my nose down, keeping the momentum on the airplane. I'm going to transition right there, I'm going to flare, touch, then fly the model
Nose
up.
down, transition, flare.
Nice.
Oh, and she just kept flying.
That looked gorgeous.
It like gracefully touched, but it was just flying an inch off the runway.
That was beautiful.
And of course, we got a gasser guy behind us, so we got to talk a little.
Always a gasser. I'll talk louder. I won't Bob Ross it. All right, so we'll do it one more time. Nose down. Manage that throttle to manage the sink rate that you like, keeping that nose down. Get to your transition point. Transition. Flare. Touch. Power. Go around. Excellent. That looked really nice, James.
A little bouncy, but also I was a little close to you.
No worries.
I want to make sure you're out of dodge. I can't see behind me.
So let's talk about the flap deployment, because I know that that's something that we showed before, but let's do some demonstrations on the downwind. So I want you to go up with your flaps, keep the gear down, and in
no
the downwind, I want you to be at about half throttle to 3/4 throttle, and I want you to just put in your half flap and watch what happens to the airplane. So I'm going to go half flap. Whoa, too much speed, up she goes.
Okay. Let's see. Half flap.
Yep, go half
And
flap.
Here we go.
Oh, look at that.
Yep.
Look at her
Balloons
balloon.
up. Yep. And I have no mix in mind.
Yes.
So I'm getting the reason why they tell you to put a mix, probably partly.
Yeah.
But like we sort of said in the other ones, if you're at the right speed, no plane might ever need a mix. It just
right.
depends.
Just
you
depends.
know?
Depends on the wing chord, where the flap's located, where the elevator's located. So one of the things we can do now with the elevator or with the flaps out, let's show what happens when you're slow with the elevator out or the flaps
Half
out.
or full.
Go half.
Yeah.
And then I want you to take away the flap mix and just put your flaps up and watch what the airplane does. So go half throttle, flying along,
Yeah.
nice and straight and level.
Yeah.
And then just dump the flaps up. Watch the airplane sink. Whoa,
Oh,
down
dump
she
the
goes.
flaps up. Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll watch
There
the
we
airplane
go.
sink.
Yep.
That's one of the reasons why you always focus on when you're going to go around. It's always power first. Power, then flaps.
Gotcha. We are still gear out.
Yep.
So I have no flaps. We're just flying ovals.
Just big old ovals. All right, let's see. How about some grass stuff?
Okay.
Because grass is, when you approach a grass landing, you
gonna
want the
cut
airplane
in.
to be a little bit slower than you would for a pavement landing. Usually because of bumps and things that happen in the ground. So you really want to keep the nose higher and the airplane a little slower before you touch down. So let's focus on doing our nose down, transition, flare.
Okay, I'm doing it.
Okay,
I'm
I love
coming
it.
in for it. I'm
I love
taking the lead. Look at that. Oh, and I hit
Oh,
the, I hit
stayed on
the
the
pavement.
grass.
I didn't even hit the grass, so Patrick will do it.
Okay, so we're going to aim for the grass. I'm going to keep my nose down. I'm going to try to get the model a little slower than I would on the pavement. So I'm keeping my nose down. I got full flaps, my transition, My flare, slow. There she is. Now I'll go power, and we'll take back off on the grass.
Good, now I'm coming power out. Turning in. I am power out, nose down, nose down, nose down.
Transition, there it is. Flare.
Oh, I just don't want to stall it.
Actually, no.
Even with this bird, it's not like a tail dragger where you get that thrust, you know, that torque roll or whatever.
Right, you're getting counter-rotating props, so nothing to worry about there. Whoa, whoa, oh, there was some wind.
Hey,
oh. Nice recovery from that wind.
Oh, that had to be the wind.
Wow. She just rolled over.
That had to be the wind.
And
yeah, now the wind is starting to pick up a bit today.
No worries.
And I am just not hitting the grass.
Well, and it's also that just transitioned to a tailwind on us now. We might have to reverse it and come from the other direction. What do you think?
I'm ready if you are.
Okay.
Sir.
I'm staying at full flaps, and I'm in the pattern, and I'm going to switch the over.
Way.
Here we go.
Now we're switching left to right, landing.
Switching left to right.
And that's another thing, beginner pilots, don't think you have to stay in the same position. You gotta feel that wind, you know? And there's not always gonna be somebody there to tell you. You gotta know it. You ready for it? I'm gonna come just over here. I'm a little close to you. So I'm gonna I'll turn in tight.
Okay.
And I'll come around.
Yeah, go for it.
We're still looking great on our timers here.
The same thing here is you're having to do that nose low, transition, and flare. Same thing, just different picture coming from the left to right.
I keep touching I keep touching the runway. It's like I'm just so used to the runway for some reason. I think it's because we're kind of live. Here, move over a bit, Patrick.
Okay. Yeah.
But I doubt they're going to be seeing us.
So that 30-second calls for the old batteries with the 4,000. These are the 5,000, so we're going to stretch a little further, right?
Yeah, because you were up a bit before me.
Mm-hmm. How you feeling with this way?
I feel great. Except when my T-33 hit that tree. I'm half in there. That's my fear. But again, I had stood, that's a whole nother thing. When you stand at the opposite end of this field, or any field, it's just a different flying experience. I was too close to those trees down there. So like I was so, I guess, muscle memory had me thinking one thing, and then reality struck in and said, oh no, sir, you are not there. So
you do my bidding.
Even closer. There we go. Flare it. And nice.
Fantastic. All right, so
I'm going to get my flaps out.
So one of the things we can talk about from this direction is how it's a steeper approach.
Yes, it is.
It's a much steeper approach to turn inside those trees and keep the airplane coming down. So when I'm making my turn on there, I'm actually going to idle throttle, and I'm letting the nose come down much steeper than I normally would to increase that sink rate and keep my speed where it needs to be, which is slow.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Whew, she'll just do it all day. It's like, I can do this all day. Touch and goes are so much fun. And they just help create that muscle memory you need that you should do on almost every model you got.
You know, one of my favorite things to do is I will actually do touch and goes at the end of almost every pack on a battery of everything but a jet, maybe. Sometimes a jet I'll do one landing, or with a jet I'll do a whole battery, just touch and goes. Now I've actually gone 1 minute over, and you're the 4,000s.
Yep, and I'm at my 10-second timer, and my arm just got bit by something. That hurt.
Well, here we are.
So I am gonna. So then let's both take it. You take the grass. I'll take the runway.
Perfect. I will aim for the grass. Nice formation landing. I'll let you get some separation.
I am power off there.
Okay.
Nose down. Nose down, nose down, transition, flare. Boom.
Transition to the grass.
And I'm off the edge.
Woo, there's a good bounce. Nice and firm.
Oh man, I just got bit by something.
They are nasty.
That was like right on the wrong time when you're trying to concentrate. Man. Let's drive them around behind us.
Yeah, okay.
There's nobody here, so we're gonna.
Yeah.
drive into the pits a bit.
Taxied in.
Flaps up, throttle cut on.
All right.
Looking
Like a Jeep, she's just taxiing through the dirt.
stellar. That was such a fun tandem there.
Yeah.
You know, and a good learning experience. And man, the more and more touch and goes you do, I love a touch and go when it's right. And like I said, it's just that muscle memory. Build that, because like if you're going up, I feel a lot of people do it. They go up, they take their maiden, and they give themselves one, maybe two go-arounds, and it's just not enough. And like, you know, just in general, if every time you fly your aircraft, you know, you're only landing once each time, where are the repetition? Where's the repetition? You know, I mean, I think
muscle memory is key.
You know, look at any athlete. You want to be good at something, you got to rinse, repeat, you know, and not just practice is a perfect practice.
That's right.
It's
you know,
perfect.
Even in full scale, flying the C-130s, we go out there and we will do touch and goes. At the end of we'll do a 3-hour flight. And at the end of a 3-hour flight, we'll spend 30 minutes just doing touch and goes. And that's just to build that muscle memory up. And it's a perishable skill. Just like working out or exercising or just playing a sport, if you don't do it all the time, you degrade, you know? It's important to, every time you go to the field, maybe take one pack that you're like, I am dedicated. This is the touch and go pack. And I'm just going to beat the pattern up, is what we call it. Just beat it up.
Yeah, that's the best. And it's fun. And again, a plane like this, it's just perfect for it. It's built for it. That's what it's, you know, that's what it's good at. And, you know, unbelievable. So let's pick them up again.
Sure.
Just show them off. So I painted my props on this one, guys. If you hadn't seen it, I think I showed it on a live show at some point. But you know, I did have an accident with her, so she's a little chunky. But I did a lot of foam filler. You know, got her looking good. And I love the scheme, but I dig the white. You know, it's a good contrast. Regardless of how the sky looks.
It looks really good when you get it below the tree line. It actually pops out.
Yeah, it pops out. It's a nice. I saw a couple guys now are doing some awesome orange wings. You know, I'm seeing all those great schemes. And Callie released like a, I guess Germany had a, I forget what it said on the top, but she just released a new scheme, and that was one I wanted to do, but I didn't want to bother her to create a new custom scheme with COVID going on. I went with one that she already had made. But then obviously somebody else bothered her and got it made. So good on them. I can't wait to see somebody do it. But overall, she's a solid airplane, guys. And you know, for those of you who have it and are loving it, thank you so much for buying it. And for those of you thinking about it on the cusp, hopefully this just gives you more encouragement to jump on this aircraft or any other aircraft we got. You know, and for you beginners, learning how to land is going to keep you in this hobby a lot longer than not learning how to land. So I'll put it back down. I want to say thank you so much again to Major Croasdale. I don't know how much time has passed, but you're going to see me live now in studio. Let's segue now. Hello pilots, welcome back to the live portion of the show. That was another Learn to Land segment with Patrick Croasdale. Always a pleasure to do those with him, and we've been dying to get out there and do some tandem OV-10 flying, and just thought while we were there, hey, why not try it on a, you know, a tricycle gear, an easier jet. We actually started with the F-22, then the tail dragger on the Corsair, then the jet, and we'll come back and do, you know, then the OV-10, and we'll come back and do more of those in the future and other types of things, because as a lot of you guys can see, and Patrick, he knows his stuff, he's a good pilot, he teaches well. What I love about him, he can speak about the characteristics of the aircraft while he's doing things, so I think these types of videos certainly help, and you can always go on Hobby Squawk, because we have a thread built up where I'm just compiling these segments in one thread. So you can go back and watch things. If this is the first time joining us here on Motion RC Live, thank you so much. There is a playlist on our YouTube channel of just our live shows. So you can go back through them, watch some of those other segments with Patrick, and then and then next week, coming soon, we'll have a tandem on the OV-10. I know our EU customers, as we said last week, got their OV-10s now starting to show up, and they're out there flying them, so it's great to see everybody having fun with it. I love this bird. I think it's a great, I love the fact of how easy it is to land and the touch and go potential of it, the stall characteristics, and she just looks really cool, so I'm really, really excited. Alpha sweat bees? Was he saying sweet bees? I don't know, but I got bit by something. It didn't leave a mark or anything. It was just one of those, you know, quick bite, but right on, you know, my throttle hand, like right on my wrist. It was like, right as you're flying. You just want to throw the transmitter down for a second, but obviously that wouldn't be good. So just looking into the comments, guys. Getting good distraction training, Victor says. Yes, definitely. You should have someone just scream in your ear or something. Just try to do it. Full concentration. Try the F-104 now. That's one of those ones I've never flown. I would love to get my hands on one of those, especially the big one. But I don't know if our field would be great for the F-104.
Would be interesting.
It would be an interesting one to try to fly there. But guys, as far as the show goes, we got some interesting stuff to show. We had a really cool week as far as people submitting social media posts, especially in our Facebook community. And I think the best way, we got to start with Tomislav.
Okay.
Gretzik, he's the one, if you guys saw this, I believe he flies for the Croatian Air Force, and he flies MiG-21s, and one day, these awesome promotional pictures popped up, professional pictures, I should say, and then I ended up Facebook messaging him, and he said he went out that day because this is for promotion for people to join the Croatian Air Force. So these, I guess, will be in their ads and stuff, and, I guess advertisements, maybe in magazines and such. And that's him and his son with their painted up free-wing MiG-21 behind his real free-wing. That's like, amazing. Yeah, that's an unbelievable shot, something you can only hope to see. Anytime. I had to reach out to him. And the next thing, I had a video, might as well show that. There's 50 seconds of just him flying. He has his YouTube channel. Seems like a great pilot. And this is one of those models that I can't wait to get my hands on. We were just talking. I have one on the way because I want to try it with the new Inrunner in it. And this is one of the few, like the F-104, one of the few free wing models still I've yet to fly. But I always see it pop up on YouTube. Always see it pop up on on a lot of social pages and such, and a lot of people swear by their MiG-21. So I'm excited to get my hands on one, and I know Patrick has one in a different scheme, so we'll definitely be coming back with some tandem flying on the MiG-21. But I hope I pronounced your name properly, Tomislav Grzetic. If I said that terribly, I should have asked you how to pronounce that. But again, thank you so much for joining the Facebook community, and we'll always take any more types of pictures like this if you want to share them, because that was a really great post, and I think you could see, when posts really reach everybody, the likes go up like crazy, and that was one of them that, nobody could look at that and say that was, terrible post. Why would you do that? But just these shots are awesome, awesome work. Moving on, we have Glenn Davis, who went out with, I believe this is a 500 size Seahawk, fully customized Roban kit. Love seeing helicopters. Man, I wish I could get more helicopter content, but obviously I am not a helicopter pilot. We have a couple at our club, but they're few and far between. But we love anytime we see them. He did post a video, but it was a little choppy and grainy, Glenn, so apologize I didn't get that in there, but it looked like it flew really beautiful. But overall, I mean, always love seeing these big Robans when they're customized like this, because they really, there's a lot of detail, extra detail you could add to them. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this one might have been entered into the March Madness. This might have been that Seahawk, or maybe inspired by. It's almost impossible to remember all 64 finalists, but we did get 2 helis in there. One was Michael Rosnick, and he went up against this one, and I believe this one beat him in that first round, or something like this one. But absolutely gorgeous, and it sounds nice, so definitely jump in the Facebook customer community, and you can see the video he posted. Next one, who's this? Kevin Garland. We saw him posting about his OV-10, setting it up. He made a lot of posts, actually, on it, but then finally went out and took some beautiful, stunning shots of his OV-10. I love that sunset shot, the silhouette. You can't really beat that. I mean, that sky looks beautiful. And it's actually one thing I've yet to do with the OV-10 is with all those lights. I haven't been able to get out at dusk. Alex and I tend to go out during the middle of the day. But maybe we're going to have to take this bad boy out right around, like, the time the sun sets. And in Georgia, around Atlanta here, that sets at, like, 10:30 at night. So maybe if we get out at, like, 9 o'clock, right before the field closes. But, I can't wait to fly. This is why I wish Triple Tree was starting up, because the OV-10 would have been the perfect plane to put up right as that last glimmer of light is coming up. But awesome picks. And then I want to call out Vince Hickle. He shared some nice pictures. I believe this is the 64 F-22, but he was a new member of the community, I believe, and just threw up some pictures, and I always like to see that, especially new people who not only join, but then contribute, because contributing is, the best part of social media, as far as I'm concerned, when you're just contributing about RC stuff, not about everything else. That's all I care to. When I sign into Facebook, all I want to see is RC information. Was that it on Facebook? I think we had something else. No? You found something, but that's for Hobby Squawk. Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much, and again, big shout out to Tomislav. Those MiG-21 shots are absolutely gorgeous, brother, and we can't thank you enough for sharing those, and glad you're enjoying the MiG-21. Hope it does it justice from somebody who actually flies them. All right, moving on to Squawk. And actually, well, let's start with Steve, because last week I told you I was going to show this, but Steve Hodges, a good friend of ours, he has that Disney Nautilus submarine that he converted, and he had posted this video a little while ago, but he tested it out in his pool. It's the first time he did his submersion testing, and it just looks absolutely awesome. If you guys haven't seen this yet, I don't know where you've been. Jump on Squawk, jump on Facebook. He's got tons of pictures and video of his whole process, because when he got this, it had been used, or maybe it wasn't actually RC. I think it was just a scale model that he's since converted, and he's done a lot of work to it. So it looks absolutely awesome, and I just love seeing it pop up. Now we need the scale squid to go around it and fight with it, but that looks absolutely awesome. Steve, thank you so much for sharing that, and guys, he has a whole thread on it, so he'll keep you updated. Then we had another, this was cool. I came across another KC-135, but I believe this is, I had the name of it. You don't carry over the name. The Sunshine of Arizona, I believe it was called, but now he's testing it. The Spirit of Arizona. The Spirit of Arizona. I should have got that. So it's a KC-135 AL-37 conversion. So he added the extra nacelles, like Jeremy Solt had done and a few others. But I do like this one because it actually has some tail graphics to it. Like I saw a lot of guys doing the military AL-37s, and while it's cool, when you could see all the colorful liveries you get on an airliner, it would be hard for me to say, yeah, I want a base gray, style. But I thought this was a great in-between, and it looks awesome, and I hope he's going to pop up. This is, again, Walkerm 5045. I don't know, these usernames are impossible to pronounce because they're like made up. But
Walker M45.
Walker M45, that makes sense. But I hope he posts some video of it, because again, I never got a chance to see one of these in person yet, like a fully customized 4-nacelle AL-37. But either way, looking good, and thank you so much for posting it on Squawk. Then next, where do you want to go?
This is the post that I found.
Okay.
That I thought was pretty cool.
Alex found a post. Now what's the glider guy?
This is glider guy talking about his AL-37, and he talks about how many flights he has on it.
He has 1,200 flights since he got it. Did he get it at release?
He got it at release, and he gives a nice, honest review here. But what's really interesting to me is, after reading that number of 1,200 flights, the sheriff comes in and does the math for us.
Because Alex was about to do the math in his head. So, averaging about 200 flights per month. Nice informative post. I wish I could fly mine that much. If my math is right, that is about 10 flights per day, 5 days per week, at 1,200 flights, averaging 5 minutes per flight, with an average speed of 60 miles per hour. You would have 100 flight hours totaling 6,000 miles in distance, enough to fly from New York to Ecuador and back with reserve for an alternate airport. I haven't flown mine nearly as much, not even close, but also can attest to the durability of the plane. She's a beast. I thought that was absolutely hysterical. Alex just found that this morning. There's so much going on in Hobby Squawk, guys. It's a great community, and stuff like this is always fun to go through. And then did we have one other thing? Nope, Sheriff did the math. Not on Squawk. So we'll move out to Instagram, I guess. Couple things happening on Instagram. Let's start with Tolga. So TO1GA, I just call him Tolga. He's all over our Squawk. He's all over Facebook. This is just his channel, but he got himself, I believe he's in the EU, so he got himself his OV-10 Bronco, and this was just me screen recording. But he has an awesome workbench, if you guys recognize this. He's got a little work studio, looks like maybe in his attic or something, but he's always doing something crazy over there, and he is a great customizer. He gets really beautiful pictures, definitely worth a follow on Instagram, and just a good overall contributor to the community of not just motion RCs, but everything. It looks like he flies everything and anything. So, you know, always like to shout out some of those people who, you know, just help this type of stuff, helps push the hobby, because maybe somebody who, you know, didn't even know the hobby exists stumbles across something, one of your pages, and that's what gives them the itch to get involved in this hobby that we all love. So then moving on, oh, let's do Panzer. I'm sorry, I could not pronounce this screen name, but what I loved about this post was I am like in love with these tank battlegrounds that are created. Now, I don't know if this is a field. I don't know if this is somebody's house, but he's got a man-made lake. He's got tons of tanks. He's got boats, submersibles, bridges. Like, I was just looking through this, and it's like RC playground. And I got to get to one of these. I hope to be able to get to a tank event. I don't know if events happen here or this guy just does this in his yard. I know nothing about the story behind these, but I wanted to call it out and show it off because this man's worth a follow. He's got a lot of cool stuff if you're into the tanks.
Can you try to pronounce his name again?
Panzer Trefsig. No, I'm not even gonna go for it. Got to put me on the spot like that. But look at this, like the whole look at aqueduct going down to like a dam with a Roman Colosseum in the background. I just went back and forth. The gas station over there. Got an RC plane sitting there. This guy RCs. Let's put it that way. This guy models.
RC everything?
RC everything. Yeah, this guy's like alphas. This might be alpha in secret. This might be his house because that guy RCs everything. But that was awesome. And then lastly, we had JM with another AL37. Love the American Airlines scheme. Just something that I came across. If you use the hashtags MotionRC, Freewing, FlightLine, Black Horse, Nexa, Henlong, you know, that's the best way for us to see it. Or at MotionRC if you want to add us. If you're on Instagram and you're posting about, you know, our products and stuff, definitely drop us an @ so then we can see it. Always good. You know, social media isn't always the best thing, but it's the best if you use it to follow the things you love. That's what I will say about social media. So, last week, guys, we'll move on to Freewing 64mm F-18. So last week, you saw we did we took this out of the box, put it together, and I got a chance to get out and fly it. This was the day before yesterday. So Wednesday, I went out there, and she flew terrific. I was so excited by how she flew, and so shocked with how she landed. I had never flown. This is one of those 64mm models that I never got a chance to see or fly. So, you know, I didn't know what to expect, but this is the 4S high performance version. And what, you know, so I went up, this is my second flight, I think, because this isn't the maiden. Yeah, you were just doing slow-mos on my maiden. But when I was practicing approaches, learning like, you know, as Patrick said, I realized that this is one of those jets where you just don't need any power when you come into land, and she will just plop right down, and it was so much fun. I had a lot of fun flying this around. So now they can hear this?
They hear a little. It's just the camera mic. So
gotcha, okay.
If it gets close, they'll hear a whoosh.
Hear a whoosh. But I was just, this was only my second flight. I only got 2 or 3 flights on it that day. We were out there doing other things. But it was awesome to fly. And it's interesting because obviously we've been doing these learn to land. You're flying the big jets. You're never shutting off the power to land a jet. Unless you're flying a 64mm hand launcher, and then this thing was exactly that. Like, I just shut the power off. I don't think I ever brought the power in, and it barely wants to sit. That was my worst, I think that was my worst touch and go the entire time. Of course it is. But, yeah, so I won't say that this is a jet. This is great maybe to learn how to fly a jet, because it still has the characteristics, but as far as like landing, I don't think, you know, as a beginner, you're not going to learn how to land a bigger jet by flying something like this. But the purpose of jets like these at their price, I believe this one, the 4S version is like $139, and the 3S version is $129. So they're the type of models you build up, and you just pop them, you know, pop them in the car, and if you see an empty field, get out there and fly it. And here we go. So coming in now, it was interesting. You didn't even have to like get it in the high alpha position. I was trying to keep the nose level, and she just wants to touch and go. Like it was so much fun to do this, back and forth, back and forth. So this video is definitely going to be coming in the next couple days or so, probably next week sometime, along with the tandem of the OV-10s we did. But overall, I have no gyro in this, so I'm using a 2200 4S. And in the video, I show where my CG is. No gyro, as I said, but you could easily put one in there. There's a nice little pocket. If you watched last week, if you wanted to put like this 6-channel Stability Plus gyro in there, there's definitely a spot for it. But you know, something this small, I mean, this has no rudder. This just has a landing gear servo to a nose steering servo, if you will, put into the rudder, elevators, ailerons, and throttles. Just 4-channel jet. Good fun, and it looks good. And one thing I was saying is, when Top Gun 2 finally releases, since this is a Super Hornet and that's what he's going to be flying, then I'm going to call up Cali and turn this into a, you know, whatever livery scheme the, you know, the F-18 is going to be in Top Gun 2. And then some nice beauty shots.
Some nice beauty shots of it.
Nice some beauty shots. Are any of the slow-mo touch and goes in here?
I mean, they're in there. They take a little bit to get to, though.
They take a little bit to get to. So this was my maiden. When we do the slow-mo, he usually does that on the maiden. Just me, you know, trimming it out or learning it. But it's got a vicious roll rate if you're at high rates. She's definitely fun, but you could tame her down. But she looks good. One thing I want to try with this is removing the landing gear entirely and just hand launching it, because it felt like it had more than enough power. But here we go. Look at it. She doesn't even want to sit. That's just power off, like, you know, really nice. Really, really, really nice.
You got a little bit of a crowd around you when you're flying this, and the guys are losing it with how little power you were using.
Yeah. He's got the Royal Mesas. Yep, I like the top adder scheme. Royal Mesas looks good. Just a good fun jet, you know, something to bring. Like, these are the type of planes, whether it's the Lipish or even like the Dora and the P-51 from FlightLine, the smaller birds, I tend to bring one with me when I go fly because I like to warm up with something small, easy, just like I need a warm-up flight. I can't get right into it. I just gotta, you know, settle in, settle my thumbs down, get ready for the day's flying. Italy Raz, I know a place where you can get it. motionrc.eu if you are actually, well, Ite Raz is not Italy, it's Ite. Motionrc.com or motionrc.eu are the free wing distributors in US and the EU. So that would be where to get it. And if you're not in those locations, then, you know, there are definitely other places that sell free wing around the world. But if you're in the EU or in the US, then you're coming to us. You're on our channel, and we are the distributors of Free Wing and FlightLine and a lot of other brands. So that's coming next week. Just wanted to, you know, fill you guys in. It's a fun flying jet. I'm trying to, you know, I'm revisiting a lot of classics as the summer goes on, because a lot of them have updates since the time the original videos had come out, especially a lot of the Free Wing stuff. They've got in-runners now, so what do we got? We got MiG coming soon. I still have the F-86 to get done, the A4, and I'm going to let Patrick help me out on a lot of these. But all the ones that are coming with those high-performance in-runners, you'll be seeing a lot just new updated flights. And as always, guys, Hobby Squawk, Facebook, YouTube. I mean, so many other people are out there flying and releasing videos. You could YouTube search and find pretty much anything you want out there, but we'll do our best to get them done as fast as possible. So I'll do it for the Free Wing F-18. And now we do have some news. If you've been following us on Facebook, you might have noticed, or if you saw the homepage on motionrc.com, guys. Motion RC is hiring. So we do have a couple job posting positions open. One in the EU for a marketing specialist, somebody who can be me in the EU, in essence, heading to events, maybe jump in front of the camera, make content for the EU, because it's tough to do it all at once. But we are growing. Customer service we're looking for in the United States. That would be a position, but that would be a work from home. Looking for warehouse people, and then we do have future job postings coming up. So if you check our careers page where you just saw me go on the main page on Motion RC, just go to the community side. Go to careers, you'll see a lot of the jobs offered. If you're somebody looking to get into RC, I love it. I love it at Motion RC. I've loved my time here, but it's very simple to get on and apply. Just fill out all the necessary information, take it forward, upload your resume with a cover letter, make it all one file, and and maybe you might be able to work with us. Do you have to be over 18, Motion RC? I believe so. I didn't make these, but I believe so. Maybe not necessarily in the warehouse, but they want, I think it's at least high school education to get in the warehouse. But again, check out the careers page. That's where you're going to find the best information of that. It was just my job to let you know that it is open. We've got a lot of applications coming in already, so people are seeing it. But if you ever thought about making your job your hobby, or make your hobby your job, if you love RC and want to do it, then we would welcome you on to the team, because we are a growing team and we have a lot of fun at Motion RC as well. Now, also, if you notice, so we're in the Motion RC news. Next things next is some new releases coming soon, guys. Some new products. So Henlong tanks is where we started, but if you notice the tank section, we've got some of the big boys coming. Still 16 scale, but when we released the Henlongs, a lot of tank guys came in. There are pretty much three big brands of tanks, from Henlong to Toro and to Tamiya, and we've got Tamiya tanks coming in. So you can see on these are super scale models with some different variations than the Henlong ones, like this Super Sherman, I believe it's called. But they look absolutely, Super Sherman, I'll say. But if you are into, if you're into tanking, man, I mean, I'm getting into it. I think I will have to jump on one of these at some point. But they are definitely, a different ballpark than the Henlong ones. Let's put it that way. But they are coming soon.
They ain't toys.
Yeah, they are not toys. But what's it called? You guys definitely want to click the notify me when back in stock on that. And then also, if you check our semi-truck pages, anybody who's into trucking, we got Mack trucks, tractor trailers, things like that coming in. And the cool thing about a lot of these are their bodies are not painted, so you could put them in any livery. I mean, gotta get Callie making semi-truck liveries now, because I already had some ideas if one's gonna be coming my way. But things like these, I'm down with all this stuff now. Like after driving the tanks, even though they're not fast, they just look cool. Like this is something, again, I could drive around with my kid. They'd have a grand old time, playing with something like this, and I'd have a grand old time modeling it up and making it look cool. But it's cool to see. Again, something for everyone, always coming to Motion RC. So whether it's trucks, construction, which is going to be coming, the boats are going to be coming. Pay it forward. The ships, end of July was the date. So they are well on their way. And hopefully when they come in, based on the people who click the notify me when back in stock on the boats, I hope you did, and I hope you jump on it. Don't wait, because I'm having a wild feeling that at least some of these models are going to be like the Henlong tanks when we first got them, in and out almost as fast as, I don't even think they put them on the shelves. They just come off the container and they just hand them, like the container might as well just drive to UPS or wherever and just drop them off. So there you have it. So, man, I blew through the news. So might as well just throw it on in closing. And we got about 15 minutes. Alpha, are you still in the chat, sir? Because it's always fun to have Alpha in there. If you guys don't know, if you're just joining, Alpha is our head product designer, production product manager, senior manager. He's my boss. And, he knows he has all the goods on any information. And if he's hanging around still watching, then he could always answer any questions. And if any of you guys have any questions about anything you saw in this week's show, anything you want to see in the future, I do have some ideas for some new series are going to be coming to the channel aside from just flights and assemblies that we do. Obviously, events are kind of out for the near future, so we definitely want to start getting into some tips. I know we do segments here, but I think what I want to do is make them individual playlists, things like that, for people to, just find more information, because it's all about providing information to help people out. Yes. Off topic, I just stuck the Tiger Moth elevator on the wrong side, James. Oh, no. Oh, no. Wait, you mean like backwards? I don't even know how that works. Did you slide it in the opposite direction? He's hanging up behind you over there. I mean, that would be so your control surfaces are on the inside?
Yeah, how'd you do that?
You might as well just roll with it. Put the linkages and give it a go. Oh, man. It's hard to cut, man. You're probably going to need, I don't know if you're going to be, and it's all glued tight, or, see, when I do control surfaces on my, stabilizers, vertical stabs, I'm always using 30-minute epoxy for those. I don't care if it says CA or anything. That's where I use my 30-second epoxy so that I can slide it back and forth, and because I'll measure, and then I'll measure again, then I'll measure again, then I'll slide it in, then I'll take it out, I'll measure again, because I get so nervous, because the second you mix that epoxy up, it's the timer's on. I think a funny story where, one of my kids or somebody needed something from me, and I just put the epoxy on. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't do anything for the next 30 minutes. I need to make sure this works. But like I said, when I was building the Tiger Moth, my mistake was I got, after I did the horizontal stab, I went right to the rudder and just glued it on there, and it was perfect. And then I looked down at the instructions and I forgot the tail wheel. You need the rod to go into the rudder, so I had to cut it out. Then I put it in, and that was just awful to have to do. But man, check the spare parts. I mean, there should be spare parts there if you need a new elevator. I mean, you should be able to cut it out if you, I don't know, did you use CA or did you use epoxy? But, we've all been there, man. I mean, my worst, I think it was prior to Alex even being here, was when I built an F-15, and I had it on the table. You were there for that?
Yeah.
I was building it myself, and
I wasn't there for the crash. We filmed the unboxing literally an hour before.
Yes, we filmed the unboxing, but at that point we weren't showing. I put the control linkages on, and I was using a different transmitter at the time. We had the FR Sky, and they have two different types of receivers. So some are the Futaba way, where it's aileron, elevator, throttle, rudder, and and some normal, what I'm used to, throttle, aileron, elevator, rudder. So I had we did the build, and I came back to it, and I forgot that I put this transmitter on, and I went to reverse my elevator. So I went to channel 3, hit reverse, and the F-15 went right off this table, right into the wall, and that was about the word. I wish it was on film. I wish I was filming, because it was one of those where the engine was just still, the throttle was still going, and I'm just looking at the plane what did I do? But luckily at that time, Patrick helped me out. We fixed that up, and that one was in videos. It wasn't as bad as I thought initially, but it definitely wasn't as good either.
Not what you want to do with a fresh model.
Yeah, not what you want to do with a fresh model. But these things happen. We make mistakes. And it's tough. Itay, we used to. We just no longer able to. We're a competitor. That's not our brand. That's not what we sell. But we sell receivers that pair with them. So, that's where we go. EPO, DX9 actually. I never got the 12. I was always into. I just grabbed another one. My other one was just old at times. So I got a new black, which working out fine. But now I have to rebind everything. I'm not going to copy over anything just in case. I'd rather start fresh. So every time I grab an older model, I'm just sort of resetting it up. I just use the other one to check how I set it up. But I just want to make sure it's all, all fresh in case there's corrupted file. Who knows, But having issues on things that you didn't have issues with in the past and not trusting your transmitter is a tough thing. So I just went with a new one. Jeff, hopefully soon. They come in and they go, and I wish I knew those things offhand. I don't get to see like a list of when things are coming. I've got to ask the proper people to figure that out. So that's not my department of when things are coming back in stock, but hopefully soon because they're super popular. They come back, they come and go as fast as they leave almost as fast as they come in because a lot of people love them. And good work. They were doing a giveaway, guys. Jeff Custom RC, if you want to check his channel. Him and Dustin Hallman, am I pronouncing that right? Jeff, they do a great show on Tuesday nights, I believe, at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. They do a live show. There's a lot of guys doing live shows, at the nights. There's like a whole community around live show. There's almost one pretty much every day, but I do enjoy Jeff and Dustin. They have some good guests on there. They just did a giveaway because I think Jeff just hit 1,000 or so. Yes, they're the Flight Club. So, I shouldn't even talk about the Flight Club. That's the first rule. And the second rule of Flight Club is to not talk about it. So, But they do a great show over there. And they're just, like a lot of these live shows are just guys rapping about the hobby, answering questions, having fun, and, talking to people. So, great. And Jeff's got some of the best hair in the hobby. And I didn't even prepare myself today. My hair is a little bit of a mess. So Jeff's got me beat today. But, thanks for stopping in, Jeff. What else do we got? He needs an outrunner motor. Try an in-runner motor, Dollar Bill Clinton. That's a weird name. Can't believe I just said it without reading it first. That's funny. Gary, S6R, S8R, FR Sky stabilization receivers available. Yeah. Will the cameras in your FPV bundles fit ultra micro planes? I'm going to say probably not. Where is one here?
Ultra micro.
This is the size of it. I mean, if you consider something like this, that's not ultra. I don't even know that's ultra micro.
Yeah, that's micro. What's
that's
ultra
micro?
Are we talking like?
I don't know. So this is on. I have mine mounted up on a Shrike thing, and it would fit fine on something like this. But again, it's just a matter of I'd have to do something. I wouldn't want to add an extra battery or any weight. I mean, when you're talking about really small stuff, I don't know. I would say.
How small we talking?
Yeah, how small we talking? That would be tough. So thanks, Prop Rotor Nut, all the way from Scotland. Thanks for joining by. My hair's fleek. Yeah, maybe not right now. And I've been out the last 2 days flying. I'm like red. I was getting burned. Didn't bring the sunscreen. And then we did that opening segment that was there yesterday, and it was like, standing out there 20 minutes straight was just not fun. What else we got? Hey James, what would be a good ARF plus 90 miller airframe for the Outrunner EDF unit that came with the original F-18C? That's not an F-18. The Venom. If you haven't flown the Venom yet, toss that in the Venom and have a field day. That would be awesome. I think you'd enjoy it, and it would fly great at our field. The one thing I like about the Venom, it flies to me like an Avanti, you could do anything you want with it, and it lands. It's one of the jets that you can land with almost no power.
It has one of the best noises,
and it has one of the best sounds. And I think it would be the same motor that had initially came in it. That would be a great one. Well, pay it forward. Remember, I saw a comment pop up where somebody said,
These are all your
you must be so lucky to be able to have all these planes. I don't have all these planes. These are Motion RC's planes. I do not, I have a few that I buy that are mine, and those are the ones that on the weekends, if I'm going to go out, those are the ones I will beat up. But, I have these because I work for the company and I need to take them to events. We need to make videos for them, answer customer service questions. People are on the forums asking, hey, what's the size dimensions for this? I'm running over here and measuring, and they're not my planes, and I don't unless we're going out to film, I try not to take them out and fly unless I'm confident with it and I'm trying to learn, because obviously everything's a learning moment. So if I do go out on an off day, let's say, on a weekend, and I take one or two, it's mostly me just, it's always practice for me, because if we're going to make
it look good for video.
Yeah, if we're going to try to make it look good for video, then, I want to get more flights than just like one or two. Like this one, I did the video that you'll watch on the second flight, because at this point in my flying, like, I downplay a lot of how, my piloting skills, because I just, I'm never going to sit there and say I'm the best or the worst, but I'm not terrible. I can fly something like this. But something a little bigger, I need a day or two and more flights before I'm confident enough to say, okay, now let's do a flight. And I don't even call my flights flight reviews anymore. I just call them flights, because, again, I'm not perfect. I am just an average. I like to think of myself as just representative of the majority of people at your club, where they just come out, they just want to have fun and fly and converse with people, and that's what I love about the hobby just as much as the flying, is the camaraderie of it all. But yeah, these are not mine. I mean, I get to customize them up when I have an accident with one, because again, we like to customize them up, but again, these are all Motion RC property. And if you want to be a part of the Motion RC team, we are hiring. Opening. So there is an opening.
Russ Cooper says, really appreciate the Major's tips. Great teacher, keep him around.
Major's tips, yeah, Russ. Patrick is awesome. He's just a member of our field, lives close. We became friends, and he's happy to. I'm just happy that he's good enough to jump on video and do it in front of video, because it's not easy. Anybody who's ever tried to film a video, I'm used to it at this point, but trust me, it's tough when you're trying to talk and fly and and get everything within a time. You don't want to make a 40-minute video and have like 15 flights of the same model. You try to show a little bit of everything in a digestible time frame and not fumble over your words. I mean, how many videos where I say just nonsensical things sometimes, and I listen to it, I'm like, what did I say? I just, it's like you're not even thinking sometimes, you're too focused on what you're doing. And me, I know how to talk. My problem is I don't know when to shut up sometimes, so sometimes just let the plane talk is what I try to do. Or I got to get better at, if I was constructively criticizing myself.
Yeah, editing is a wonderful thing. I take out a little bit of what he says sometimes.
James, are your Pro gyros compatible with FR Sky 10X? Well, not the Stability Plus gyro, the Admirals. You would want a Hobby Eagle gyro. Hobby Eagle gyro, doesn't matter what transmitter you use, it plugs in. It's a in-between. So in essence, the gyro is going between your transmitter, your receiver, and the plane. So aileron, your aileron, your rudder, and your elevator, or 1, 2, or all 3, depending on what you want the gyro to work, then goes into your RX, and it gets set up on its own. It has nothing to do, you don't have to do really anything on your transmitter other than know where to set up a mode so that you can switch through the modes on your on your transmitter. So you could, because like with a Hobby Eagle gyro, you might want a setting where I like to have it on, off, and auto stabilize or something like that. So you could have it on a 3-position switch or a 2-position switch or something. See, Jeff, editing is a wonderful thing, but we don't edit our flights. I never put a flight out there that is, that we never cut anything out. You see the entire flight from start to finish. The only time I'll edit a flight is by when I have a bad flight and I land and say, throw that one in the garbage, let me do it again. Like there's definitely been that where I'm like, oh, I was just all over the place on that flight, so let me try it again. But every flight video, at least that I've done, is me taking off, starting to land, and all the way through to you see the battery cell checker. Like, none of that is doctored because you can see through that. I would never cut up a flight. I'm 100% not a, yes, the blah, blah, blah. Sometimes, I mean, if I say the wrong thing, that might get cut out, but there's no reason to cut anything out. Yes, saying things that are stupid. I do that often. Even putting an elevator on wrong. Dads, if you have a picture of it, if you haven't taken it apart yet, I'd just love to see the elevator on backwards. And next time you're doing it, film yourself, because I would love to have seen that moment when you realized it and said, oh, man. Because that must have been a heartbreaker. But guys, just like that, it is 1 p.m. on this Friday, July 10th. As we said, this was episode 26. Actually, I believe it was 27 because one of the Fridays we did a announcement for, I think, the OV-10. So I didn't number that one. But so either way, it's been half a year of live shows, and they continually growing. We're always talking about different stuff, and I'm so thankful for you guys to join me, and I look forward to seeing you guys next Friday. So whatever you're flying this weekend, make it a good one, have happy flights, and we will see you next time at Motion RC Live.